Welcome to Invest Insights. I'm Abby Maloney. I'm joined today by Pat Wilson, the Commissioner of the Georgia Department of Economic Development. Pat, thank you so much for being with me.
Thanks, Abby. Appreciate the time.
You know, last year was obviously filled with many challenges, but it also opened up a lot of opportunities to reevaluate priorities and to address inefficiencies. How has the Georgia Department of Economic Development transformed its thinking as it relates to top priorities, and how is that reflected in the state budget for 2021?
You know, I don't think anybody was prepared for 2020, right? I mean, it was something that there's no rule book for, there's no playbook. And so as we are coming out of that, we had to analyze, of course, what was working well. There are some positives that happened in a number of industries during that time. There are negatives. We're still trying to help certain industries grow out from where they were. And so, and you'll see this in the governor's budget, he really focused on finding ways to really bring along the industries that are lagging behind. So if you look back at 2020 and the early part of 2021, several industries that are continuing to boom. About 70% of all of our job growth in 2020 came from food processing, manufacturing, and really logistics and distribution industries. Those industries continue to grow mainly because the pandemic and really the consumer changing really how we purchase things, how we buy things online. All of that helped certain industries continue to grow. But one of the things that really has been devastating that we've seen around the state is tourism and hospitality, and really the creative arts too. Those industries have practically stopped. And so our Explore Georgia team at the Department of Economic Development is really focused on getting Georgians to explore Georgia, stay home, go to our state parks. We have the best state parks in the country. Go out and see this beautiful state. And so one of the positives there is our tourism numbers really continue to outperform the national average, but we are still lower than we were prior to the pandemic. So one of the things you've seen in the governor's budget is he added $1 million to our tourism marketing fund coming in the 21 amended budget that will allow us to focus on, first and foremost, Georgians. Let's market to Georgians, continue to get them to stay at home, go to the coast, go to the mountains, again, use those state parks, which are the best in the country. But then we can reach out to some drive time markets and look at the Carolinas and at Florida and Alabama and get them to come experience Georgia as well. If you look at our employment right now, we're about 5.7% unemployment. If you backed out hospitality jobs, we're almost at full employment in all the other sectors. Hospitality is really driving up that. So if we can bring back tourists, you bring back people visiting the state, I think we're going to have a really an exponential impact on the economy because those people are going to start hiring again. You're going to see hotels and restaurants and bars and bed and breakfast all begin to fire back up again. And so that's an exciting thing for us. It's one of the things that we pivoted to really focus on for 2021. And we're excited about that.
From July 1st through December 31st of last year, more than 16,000 jobs had been created across all regions in the state by economic development projects, with these projects totaling nearly $6 billion in new investments. What do you credit this economic success to in spite of so many challenges of last year?
Abby, that's a really great question. And it really is, there's not one answer for that. It's amazing that in the face of a global pandemic, in the face of trade challenges, in the face of supply chain issues, our job creation is 40% above this time last year, and the investment in the state is 50% up. That's just amazing. And so, one of the things that I think that we can't discount is the fact that the momentum was already there. Georgia's been named the #1 state in the nation for business for 8 years in a row. And so we've created this really this entire ecosystem, this business ecosystem around listening to companies and addressing their needs. And so the pipeline was full. And so as you continue to work through the pandemic, a lot of those companies still had needs and they still made decisions. And so you've seen, I think, companies really focus on their 5-year plans, take this time to invest and reinvest in automation. And so, the momentum was there, and we continue to carry that out. But the interesting thing, and I mentioned the growth sectors earlier, where we've seen the most growth, Georgia was already strong in those areas to begin with. And so if you look at food processing, logistics and distribution and manufacturing, those were growth areas for us, previously. And so as those areas continue to boom, we're going to see more of our share of those jobs. And so that's a win in itself. And then, I have to give Governor Kemp a lot of credit for how he handled reopening the state safely in a measured approach. And companies recognize that. They saw that they were able to do business in Georgia in a safe manner. And so they continue to look at Georgia for opportunities to invest or reinvest. And so I think that that's played a big part of it too.
When we spoke with you for our Focus Atlanta report, you mentioned that the tech sector has been one of the real hot points for job growth over the course of 2020. With the business community now relying on technology more than it's ever done before, how is the Georgia Department of Economic Development working to continue to transform Georgia into North America's predominant tech hub?
It's amazing that you go back and you look at the growth in the tech sector in the last 10 years and where we've come from as a state that produced a huge amount of tech talent that then left to go to Washington State. You go to Seattle, you go to Silicon Valley, they go to Boston. We had a massive amount of brain drain coming out of the university system that we as taxpayers have invested billions of dollars in. And so, companies recognize where this talent is coming from. And so they have really focused on Atlanta and the state of Georgia overall as a place that they can get talent. There's not as much competition for talent. And so it's booming. And we've seen an industry overall, just in tech jobs in the last 10 years, transform a city and a state and a region. Just last week, Brad Smith, the president of Microsoft, came to announce with Governor Kemp and Mayor Bottoms that Microsoft is investing in a massive campus in Atlanta on the west side. It will be their third largest employment hub behind Washington, Silicon Valley, and Atlanta will be next. That's really exciting. But in talking to Brad Smith before the announcement, what are they attracted to? It's talent. It's the talent coming out of Georgia Tech and the University of Georgia and Georgia State, Morehouse, our historically Black colleges. SCAD produces a number of talented people that are being pulled into the industry. And so, if you look at where we were 5 years ago, we really had a hold in fintech. 70% of all transactions that happen in the United States bounce off of some Atlanta company that in the space. And so that's been a booming sector. But now we're seeing this tech ecosystem grow and change and evolve, and it's really exciting to be a part of it. But what it comes down to, and what really is driving this, is access to talent and the brilliant kids that we're producing right here at home. And so for economic developers and somebody who's been in state politics for a long time, what's I think the most important piece of this is we're keeping our best and brightest in Atlanta. We're keeping our best and brightest in Georgia. We're not seeing them migrate to somewhere else. Kids can work here. They can raise a family here, and the jobs of the future are going to be here too. So the tech industry continues to be a driver for the economy, and one of the things that we're going to see coming out of this pandemic, as as they have changed their habits, they've changed how they work, how they play. that industry is going to evolve, and it's going to really provide more opportunity for us.
Last year was an incredibly transformative year, but how was it personally transformative for you?
I tell you, Abby, it's again, you start with there really was no there's no playbook for this, right? And so we have an agency that's focused on growing opportunities in Georgia, and when you see a state have to shut down and reassess and figure out how you're going to tackle a crisis, we had to do the same as a department, and one of the toughest things and most rewarding things at the same time is watching this team around me evolve, and really I had to let go and lean on all the people around me, and it's fantastic to see how people grab the mantle and they really address challenges. And I've surrounded myself with amazing professionals, and I just learned how to get out of the way and let them do their jobs. And it really is amazing to see, and it makes me really proud as a coworker and as a Georgian to see state employees really giving their all, weekends, nights, to make sure that Georgia companies could address the challenges that they faced. And I think that as a team, they did an amazing job. And that to me has personally been transformative, to watch all of this happen and to be able to sit back and let people really tackle it and do what they're great at.
Well, thank you again. That was Pat Wilson, the Commissioner of the Georgia Department of Economic Development. My name is Abby Maloney, and you've been watching Invest Insights. Pat, thank you again.
Abby, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Hey everyone, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so that you can stay up to date on the latest business trends from our knowledgeable experts. Be sure to check out the description below for more information on the segment you just watched. Thanks for tuning in.